I don't know where these 3,000 jobs are coming from. Unemployment has gone up every month under his government. And perhaps he should speak to farmers and small business people and find out what those working people think about his government. Mr. Speaker, I'm not talking the country down, I'm talking him down. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday, the head of the OBR warned the government that higher and higher levels of taxes are bad for growth. Does the Prime Minister agree?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'll tell you what's bad for growth. 14 years of a Tory government. That's what the stagnant growth for 14 years, leaving a £22 billion black hole. What we've achieved, Mr. Speaker, in the first quarter of this year is the highest growth in the G7, something we promised before the election. Investment of £120 billion into this country, which is a record in the first year of any government, and 3 trade deals, all of which will boost growth.
Mr. Speaker, he's talking about what he achieved. We just heard that inflation is up again, the worst in the G7. We left him with 2% inflation. We have borrowing up, unemployment up, taxes are up under his government. The fact is the Prime Minister doesn't get it, so let me tell him. His budget last year had high taxes. That's why the economy is contracting. But, Mr. Speaker, the government has said that they won't put up taxes for people on modest incomes. But they also seem incapable of explaining who is in that category. So can the Prime Minister clear up the confusion and tell us what he thinks a modest income?
The confrontation was expected to be ordinary, yet it became a political wreck. Keir Starmer entered believing he could trap opponents with financial slogans and his standard scripted remarks. What he never anticipated was Kemi Badenoch, incisive, relentless and uncompromising, flipping each remark into ammunition against him. But was Starmer truly speechless? Let's see. He tried posing as chief economist, relying on jargon and flimsy claims concerning revenue and progress. From the outset it was clear he arrived with canned phrases designed to appear clever on camera instead of addressing substance. Then Badenoch delivered the opening targeted blow, forcing him to clarify his stance on wages, levies and fiscal fairness. This should have been an easy win for any leader confident in their agenda. The whole hall froze because everyone realizes this is the point where leaders either rise or collapse. And collapsed. Instead of explaining what he represents, he drifted into predictable remarks about earlier conservative administrations, behaving as though he's still contesting an election rather than leading. He bragged about short-term expansion statistics and funding announcements, pretending that tossing huge figures around qualifies as a reply. In truth, it revealed how unready and shallow his direction is. He failed to provide a direct response because none exists. Labour's stance on earnings and levies is intentionally unclear, allowing them to raise burdens without plainly admitting so. This was the instant viewers at home pierced the act. Starmer wasn't addressing the chamber, he was performing at it, relying on cheers from his benches to mask the fact that he avoided the one issue that counted. It was the earliest unmistakable signal he lacked preparation for the pressure Badenoch recognized she had him trapped and instantly struck, hammering the case by stressing inflation, joblessness and levies climbing under Starmer's direction. This wasn't about history anymore. This was about the present, about his track record, and he felt it. She then posed what should have been the simplest query imaginable: what exactly does he define as a modest wage? Everyone accepts this as one of the clearest benchmarks of financial policy. If you can't state it, you don't grasp your fiscal framework. His reply was almost painful to witness. Rather than give detail, he drifted into blurry sentimental appeals about diligent workers without ever clarifying what modest truly represents. It was like asking a baker for instructions and being told, "I just adore making bread." That sort of dodge doesn't work at the dispatch box. Badenoch wasn't prepared to overlook it. This instant exposed him as a figure who memorizes campaign phrases but can't handle genuine policy examination. It revealed to the nation that his supposed vision of fairness is a facade, resting fully on sentiment and slogans rather than precise definitions or measurable outcomes. The embarrassment wasn't in the language he used, but in what he refused to say, because silence and waffle told the truth more sharply than any answer could.
Mr. Speaker, I think of the working people across this country who put in every day and don't get back what they deserve, and that's who we're working for. That's who we're fixing the country. The sort of people that work hard but haven't necessarily got the savings to buy themselves out of problems. And, Mr. Speaker, that's who we're working for, and that's why we put the national living wage up. That's an extra £1,400. The national minimum wage up. That's £2,500 a year. The triple lock, Mr. Speaker, that went up pension up £470. And, of course, we're extending childcare, opening free breakfast clubs and free school meals. We know exactly who we're working for. She comes here every week and just talks the country down.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not talking the country down. I'm talking him down. I asked him what a modest income was. He answered what a working person is. He doesn't know what a modest income is, and even on working people, they cannot define it. The Chief Secretary to the Treasury said that working people are people who don't get a payslip, but millions of self-employed people don't get a payslip. So are the self-employed next in line for a Labour tax rate?
After sidestepping the modest wage question, Starmer sensed the pressure closing in. Instead of resetting and replying like a serious leader, he chose to flood the chamber with a cheerful checklist. Pay rises, free school meals, pension guarantees, and whatever else he could toss in for claps. It was desperate, a man attempting to trade substance for noise. Everyone recognized it. Badenoch, unshaken, let him run on before pointing out the obvious. Nothing he listed addressed the question. It was an empty theater, crafted for headlines rather than real exchange. Cornered, Starmer tried changing tactics and hurling some attacks back at Badenoch. He rummaged through old disputes, attempting to brand Conservatives as anti-self-employed and unreliable in earlier years. It was a clear effort to dodge the present, where his administration is being hammered. That maneuver told viewers everything. Starmer refuses to confront today's realities because they can't be defended. Rather than governing, he slipped into opposition-style deflection, humiliating behavior when occupying the Prime Minister's seat.
The self-employed were the very people who suffered under their watch, repeatedly suffered under their watch, particularly if I remember during COVID, and when they didn't get the support that they needed. But she talks the country down, she cherry-picks. We have created, Mr. Speaker, since we've been in government, we've created 380,000 jobs, the employment rate is up, and inactivity is down, the complete opposite of what we inherited.
The exact reverse of what was inherited. That reply collapsed because the chamber wasn't interested in dated history lessons. It wanted solutions to present challenges. Badenoch's framing was lethal. Labour is uncertain about who truly counts as working people, they're toying with higher levies, and now Starmer is dodging again. His boasting about job creation didn't resonate either, since unemployment keeps climbing month after month. Before moving forward, may we ask, are you enjoying the video? If so, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth coverage of the dramatic shifts unfolding in British.
I don't know where these 3,000 jobs are coming from. Unemployment has gone up every month under his government. And perhaps he should speak to farmers and small business people and find out what those working people think about his government. But, Mr. Speaker, that's not all. We know the Chancellor is launching a review into pension contributions. It's as clear as day why this is. It is because the government is considering taxing them. Does the Prime Minister agree with me that a tax on pension contributions is a tax on working people?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we made absolutely clear manifesto commitments, which she asked me about last week and we're keeping to. I'm not going to write the budget months out from the budget. But, Mr. Speaker, I'm proud of the decisions that we took to invest in our NHS, to invest in our public services, all the decisions that they opposed. And it's no wonder that after a first year of a Labour government, business confidence is a 9-year high. 9-year high. That's longer than she's been in government. Mr. Speaker, 384, I'm not withdrawing, I'm going to repeat. Business confidence is at a 9-year high.
Badenoch sensed weakness and drove harder, pointing to the real struggles on the ground. Small firms, farmers, and retirees anxious about Labour's looming tax plans. This wasn't a theory. It struck straight at people's wallets and futures. Starmer's response. The same bland cheer about economic confidence and investment that looks fine in a press release but collapses when questioned. It was like watching someone try to douse a fire by saying, "Don't worry, the building is modern." Then came the decisive strike. Badenoch exposed Starmer's double standard. While ordinary citizens may face levies on pensions, Starmer's own retirement fund is legally shielded. That landed like a freight train because it wasn't only about policy, it was about character. It declared, "Here's a man content to raise burdens for you while insulating himself." That cuts through politics quicker than any chart ever could.
Mr. Speaker, he says he's not going to write the budget, but his Chancellor is on the front of the Daily Mirror talking about what she's going to do on taxes, so why can't he do the same in the chamber? Yes. But I asked him about pension contributions. The truth is he doesn't want to talk about pension contributions. It's all right for the Prime Minister. He has his own special law to stop his personal pension from being taxed. But let's be honest, Mr. Speaker, this is really about choices. My party knows that there is an alternative to tax rises. It's cutting spending, something that they are too scared or perhaps too weak to do. We offered to work with him to reform welfare and make meaningful savings. But his refusal sent a signal, and now the cost of borrowing is rising. The budget is in November, that is months away, and the markets may not wait. What will the Prime Minister be doing over the summer to get a grip on the cost of borrowing?
Badenoch presented concrete answers, slashing wasteful expenditure, overhauling welfare, and saving billions without punishing working families. That contrast meant everything. She had direction and a plan. He had hesitation and silence. Starmer's body language at that moment told the full story. Arms folded, defensive stance, eyes shifting, hunting for escape. There wasn't one. In just minutes, Badenoch tore down not only his claims but his credibility. He didn't resemble a leader running the nation. He looked like someone clinging to a role he doesn't know how to perform. It was a masterclass in political humiliation, and everyone watching understood who won and who lost. Is this the leadership Britain requires when even basic questions leave him wordless? Tell us in the comments how long Starmer can hide behind slogans before reality finally catches him. Want to see more videos like this? If so, please like, share, and subscribe for updates on British politics and the shifts transforming it. Until next time.